You might think space is silent, empty, and calm, but astronauts say it's nothing like that. From strange smells, to constant noise, and even the way your own body behaves, space is far more unusual than most people expect. Here are 10 strange things astronauts say space is really like. Space has a strange smell. Astronauts say it actually smells like burnt steak. Many describe it as similar to seared meat, hot metal, or even welding fumes. It's not the vacuum of space itself that has a smell, but the particles that stick to their suits during a spacewalk. Scientists believe these particles are created when materials are exposed to extreme heat and radiation in space. And when they're brought back inside, that's when astronauts can actually smell them. You might think space is completely silent, but for astronauts, that's not really true. Inside the International Space Station, there's a constant background noise from fans, air systems, computers, and life support equipment. These systems have to run continuously to keep the station functioning and the crew alive. The sound is always there, day and night, and over time, astronauts actually get used to it. Crying in space doesn't work the way you'd expect. In microgravity, there's no up or down, so tears don't fall down your face. Instead, they build up around your eyes, forming small pools of liquid that just sit there. If enough builds up, it can even form a floating bubble that drifts across your vision. Astronauts have to wipe the tears away, or wait for them to move on their own. Astronauts can actually grow taller in space. Without gravity constantly compressing the spine, the discs between each vertebra expand slightly. Over time, this can make astronauts up to a few centimeters taller while they're in orbit. Some even say they can feel the difference, especially as their body adjusts during the first few days in microgravity. But the effect isn't permanent. Once they return to Earth, gravity compresses the spine again, and they gradually go back to their normal height. Sleeping in space is nothing like sleeping on Earth. In microgravity, there's no need for a bed. Astronauts usually sleep inside small sleeping bags that are attached to the walls. Since there's no up or down, they can sleep in almost any position, floating gently while they rest. But it's not always easy. With constant noise, tight spaces, and no natural day or night cycle, getting proper sleep in space can take time to adjust to. Astronauts see far more sunrises than we do on Earth, because the International Space Station orbits the planet roughly every 90 minutes. The crew can experience around 16 sunrises and sunsets in a single day. That means the light outside is constantly changing, from bright daylight to complete darkness, over and over again. To stay on a normal schedule, astronauts have to rely on strict routines, rather than the natural day and night cycle we're used to on Earth. Living in space slowly changes your body in ways you don't expect. Without gravity, fluids in your body shift upwards, which can make your face look puffier while your legs appear thinner. Astronauts sometimes call this the puffy face and bird legs effect. Over time, muscles and bones can also weaken, because they're not being used in the same way as they are on Earth. That's why astronauts have to exercise every single day, using special equipment to keep their bodies strong while they're in orbit. Food doesn't taste the same in space. In microgravity, fluid shifts towards your head, which can make your nose feel blocked, similar to having a cold. Because of this, many astronauts say their sense of taste is dulled, and food can seem more bland than it would on Earth. To make meals more enjoyable, astronauts often prefer stronger flavors, like spicy foods or sauces, which are easier to taste. Even something simple like salt and pepper has to be used differently in space, because normal grains would just float away. Instead, they're usually mixed into liquids so they can be safely added to food. Going to the bathroom in space is a lot more complicated than you'd expect. Without gravity, everything has to be carefully controlled using airflow systems. Special space toilets use suction to make sure waste goes in the right direction. Instead of floating around inside the station, it takes training to learn how to use them properly, and even small mistakes can cause serious problems in microgravity. Seeing Earth from space is something astronauts never forget. From orbit, the planet looks incredibly small, fragile, and isolated in the darkness of space. Many astronauts describe a feeling known as the overview effect, where seeing Earth this way changes how they think about life on our planet. Borders disappear, conflicts seem less important, and everything feels more connected. It's a perspective that stays with them long after they return to Earth. Space might look calm and peaceful from a distance, but for the people living there, it's full of strange and unexpected experiences. And the more we learn about it, the more fascinating it becomes. If you found this interesting, there's more like this on the channel.